daughters who have mentally ill mothers, like that whole dynamic is interesting. I'm gonna make a video on, men who have mentally ill fathers, or men who have mentally ill mothers, or daughters who have mentally ill fathers, whatever the case may be. But in this video, I want to focus on daughters who have mentally ill mothers, because it's a connection between the fact that they both probably have problems. Although the mother could be a narcissist, she could have borderline personality disorder, she could have severe PTSD, she could have major depressive disorder, whatever the case may be, right? But it's a connection between the two because they're both women, so they feel like they got that womanly connection. The daughter probably feels like, that's my mom, I want to confide in her, I want to go to her, whatever the case may be. But she might be so mentally ill that they can't really ever have a healthy relationship. And I noticed this in my family system. I noticed this in multiple exes' families. And I'm a observer, like a very observer. Like a lot of situations, I say stuff because I'm a blunt person. But in a lot of instances, I don't say nothing, but I just sit here and observe. And I might do it for months and years and weeks until I address it to somebody. I would go to one of my exes and be like, yo, I noticed this, that's kind of weird. And, it's probably really not my place to do that, but it's just my part of my personality. I've dwindled down a little bit, but like when I notice stuff, and especially when it's not being done, like when I feel like it's wrong, like for example, I dated this girl where, they were coming at her brother for being so empathetic or whatever the case may be. And I was like, he feels like that. He feels like he got to walk around like a tough guy because y'all treat him like, he's weak for having emotions. So now he act like he gotta act tough to everybody. He gotta put on a show. When I come over that's outside of the family to show them he not weak, he has to double down and act tough to me. Although I read people, so I look at why are they doing this. Now I let them know, like, bro, don't do that with me because it's gonna be a problem. But I'll read him and understand where it comes from. So once I address him the first time and I understand him or whatever the case may be, then I'll come at him a little different because I'll understand, like, okay, he moving this way because of that. And I'll also tell them, y'all brother and y'all son is moving this way because of that. But anyway, I'm an over observer, but I noticed that within multiple girls I dated, or within, people in my family, I'm not gonna go into detail with that, but it's interesting when the mom and the daughter have a certain connection because they're women, but they also have a certain connection because they both have some form of mental illness. Although the mom, like I said, could be NPD, and she is like far gone, but she, is playing both sides. She doing the hot and cold thing. She making the daughter seem like I'm on your side, but really tearing her down in a moment. She giving her bad advice intentionally when it comes to dating, so all her relationships be destroyed. And then the daughter runs back to the mentally ill mom, and she's like, "Oh my God, that happened." And she's like, maybe next time, maybe next. But in reality, she's the reason why those relationships are falling apart, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. Consciously, she intentionally tearing her down because the mother never had a healthy relationship herself. Unconsciously, she could just be doing it because that's all she knows. You know what I mean? So it's like a weird dynamic, but it's kind of sad because like a lot of those women they go multiple different ways. They could become super entitled, and just like the mom, they could develop BPD, they could develop MPD, they could develop mood disorders, personality disorders, or all together comorbid. They could have multiple BPD and MPD. They could have BPD and major depressive disorder, whatever the case may be. And in the process of that, if they never get help or work on themselves, they're still attached to the mother. So they might keep repeating these toxic patterns and cycles in friendships and relationships and push everybody away. Or, if it's even deeper, sometimes people with those personality disorders, they send people to jail because they lying, they projecting, they do false allegations. Because they're so hurt internally, they get around somebody and then they try to hurt them after they go through that toxic pattern and cycle within their relationship or friendship. They might lie and say this person essayed them, DV'd them, just because they were ingrained and embedded with so much toxicity internally that all they know is to pretend like they're not toxic by love bombing this individual, getting close to them, and then tearing them down any way possible, calling the police and lying on them, telling all their friends, smear campaigning them, lying on them, whatever the case may be. And all of that mostly stems from their foundation, which is their mother or father. In this video specifically, we're talking about the mother and the daughter. But it's interesting, it's sad, it is reality, And sometimes if I make a video for too long, it'll cut off and not record, so I wanted to stop it right at that moment. But it's something that I analyze. I analyze every single thing. I don't notice everything. Some things go over my head, to be honest. You know, I think it comes with like the neurodivergence thing and just how I grew up and stuff like that. But I'm a very deep analyzer. That's probably why things go over my head, because I'm paying attention to everything, no matter where I'm at, whether I'm at work, whether da. So I see these different dynamics and I understand them on a very deep level, and I understand why people do the things that they do. And, you know, like I said, I'm gonna make another video on men with mentally ill dads and stuff like that. But, you know, I make these videos to validate other people's experiences. And, you know, everybody's situation is different. And, you know, it's sad because some people, like some daughters, believe that their mom may not have no bad intentions because she done did hot and cold. She done made it seem like she loves them. But to be honest, a lot of these mentally ill parents in general in this generation don't have the ability to love their child more than they love themselves. They're very entitled and egotistical, and the child will keep trying to seek love through this parent, thinking that it's something that it's not, but they've been gaslit so much that they done destroyed everything, destroyed jobs, friends, partners, situations, opportunities, all because of how they were conditioned and their entitlement within that conditioning, and the fact that they'll never be able to look at themselves in a way where they value themselves because they were never valued. So they don't know how to value themselves. And that's the sad part about it. And that's why they run into abusive men. They got the baby mama and baby daddy drama, or whatever the case may be. There's so many different layers on it, and it's honestly sad. If anybody going through this and you kind of understand it in a way, and you got a mentally ill mother, whether you're a woman or a female, a woman or a guy, whatever the case may be, I truly encourage you to try to work on yourself, become the best version of yourself, so you don't start to put that out into the world like it was put into you, because toxic things were put into you as a woman or as a man, whatever. And now it's time for you to do the work so you don't spread that out into the world. It's your boy Josh Different. I'm different, you different, we different, I'm out.